Hey, what's up, y'all? Listen, first of all, book club, October 25th, 7 p.m. Be there or you ugly. And if you're not there, I hate you. And you're not a fan of me. And I'm just playing with y'all. What's up, y'all? Anyways, we got Candace Owens and Priscilla the Queen Maker talk matriarchy and patriarchy. Let's just hop right into it. I ain't gonna lie, I already did the fucking reaction and I didn't record the fucking screen. So now I gotta do it over again. And I'm okay with that because y'all might have tried to chew my ass on some of them facts I put out there. Y'all don't know what I said. So anyways, let's keep it going. Let's do it. Anyways, boom. Actually, it's not even at 0, man. What the heck? Okay, there we go. Boom.
My next claim is that we live under a matriarchy, not a patriarchy.
I will still speak on that part, though. We do not live under a matriarchy. And y'all are gonna argue with me with this, but I think we live more in an egalitarian society. Just without just without the classless part. I know some of you are gonna debate me on that. Egalitarian society. We are an open society where everybody has the freedom to do whatever the hell they want. But is it more complicated in certain fields for women to go into STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics? Absolutely. Is it harder for women to go into politics? Absolutely. But is it complicated for men to actually go into social areas like daycares and child development type things, nursing? Absolutely, because they're women-dominated spaces. It's not hard. You can get into it, but you just dominated women's space. Any space that's dominated by the opposite sex seems to be harder for the sex to go into. That was studied by the men's rights activists in I don't want to say the date, but yeah, let's get going. I don't want to say nothing stupid because I don't want to be. Somebody told me I wasn't confident enough, but she was right though. All right, let's go. All right, let's see with Priscilla.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Priscilla, the Queen Maker.
I love that.
So, you say we live in a matriarchy.
Right.
Can you give me the definition of patriarchy?
Yes, well, the patriarchy is the idea that the system, our system in America, is being run by men and that women are having to exist under a system that immediately disadvantages them because men are behind it. And I disagree with that pointedly. I think actually we're living in a society where people are being very much influenced socially and politically by women.
Okay, so
I have something else to say to that too. Think about it. 99% of the teachers are women. So throughout your entire high school, elementary school, and sometimes college, there are more professors that are men in college, but the boards are split 50-50 between men and women. But overall, it's mostly women who dominate the education system. Mostly women in daycares, mostly women in I'm trying to think of what doctors or whatever. Most women are doctors. I think that's put down the middle too. There's a lot of women in the medical field though. Anyway, either which way, most of the areas where you will come across influence are where women are. If you really think about it. So to some degree, Candace is right about that. But here we go with this denotative definition shit, and I don't feel like going on in it.
the denotative definition of patriarchy is father rule, and where positions of government are held majorly by men, where women are largely excluded. So 125 House of Representatives are female, and that's only about 25%.
Right.
And only about 28% make up Senate, and 3.3% of Congress up until this date have ever been women. So by denotative definition, we literally live in a patriarchy.
Yes.
Largely excluded though is it's like I feel like that word has changed to some degree, because largely excluded is the tricky part to me. It's the tricky part to me if you really think about it. If you're largely excluded, shouldn't that mean that there's something that bars you from doing it? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Shouldn't that mean that there's something that bars you from doing it? Like in the Middle East where women can't run at all, right? In America, women can run. In Western society, women can run. So, I don't know.
So I disagree with that. So I think what this gets to, which is actually an important part of the conversation, is that people always think that where there is disparity, there's somehow inequality, and I actually reject that entirely. I think it's just a difference in what we're interested in. I think we're biologically wired, we're interested in different careers, and just because if we looked in the fashion industry and said, oh, well, it's being dominated by women, it wouldn't mean that, okay, well, that means that the fashion industry is a matriarchy and men have no sense. It just means have no ability to communicate how they feel in the fashion industry. I literally think that those numbers show that we're just biologically different. So I actually think politically, women have shown that they have a lot more power than men have. And I'm talking about just in terms of political movements. The most recent I can think of is the Me Too movement, right? If a bunch of women get together and complain about a man and refer to the patriarchy and scream, generally speaking, let me know if you agree, the media will celebrate that. If a bunch of men got together and were shrieking and speaking about women, generally speaking, the media would call them all white supremacists and say that we had a misogyny problem and that things were really wrong in society. Women are allowed to be more vocal in general about problems than men are.
Before she goes, did you notice something? She said when men all get together and talk about something, they will call them racist and misogynistic. So you mean white men? Like, I just don't like how Candace does this, man. But anyways, I want to go back to what she said. She said biologically different. I want to put something in people's thoughts, right? Are we biologically wired to pick certain things, or is it what society has deemed us to do? Like, think about it. Somebody explained this to me one time. When you look at like a balloon, right? A blue balloon and a pink balloon. Which balloon would you give the girl, or which balloon would you give the boy? We know we give the girl the pink one. We know we give the boy the blue one, right? Why would we do that? Why can't the boy have the pink one? Why can't the girl have the blue one? Shit like that shows that from development, we're kind of coerced into thinking a certain way about certain things. Like, we think pink belongs to women, blue belongs to boys. We put tools and fighting toys in boys' aisles, and then we put dolls and dress-up clothes in girls' aisles. It's like almost like you're being shaped into what you are to some degree. So I wonder, I'm asking this question and y'all can challenge me on it, but I'm wondering, like, is it biological, or is it set up based on society? I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Let me speak to that. When we're talking about government and media, these are two different things. So, under the denotative definition of a patriarchy, by the percentages that are occupied in the government, which is majority male, defines us as a patriarchy. Now, when it comes to for capitalism, for marketing purposes and control, for capital and revenue, that is a totally different conversation. But who's making the laws? I don't think that women are the ones voting to have their reproductive rights taken away, where you have rape, incest, and all of these things excluded to force women to be able to have. I don't think women in government would largely vote against their own interests because it's majority male. Patriarchy.
I think, love that point. Are women allowed to vote?
Oh, of course they are.
Who's voting that patriarchy in then, out of curiosity?
No, I totally agree. And you want to know why? Because there are so many women who think like you. You submit to the idea of men ruling everything. And your ideology is spread across a lot of women who also falsely believe to vote against their own interests just to complain about it in the end. You know, earlier you said that, women would be much more happier working at home. But don't you agree that it's human nature to want things that you don't have? So during the 1950s, which
I want you to understand, Priscilla is a pimp to some degree, right? Don't you think it's human nature to want things you don't have? A lot of women don't have men that can take care of all the responsibilities. What if they wanted just that? What if women wanted a government that was fully by men, for men, about men? What if women want that, right? What if they actually want that because they don't want to hold on to that responsibility? What if that? Why is the what if we remove men? And my question would be like, I don't know. I've always wanted to talk to Priscilla because I know we'd have a dope ass conversation. But I wonder, like, what do you think? How can we make this society much more suitable for women, right? They're able to go in any field they want. They dominate. listen, they dominate the education system. Like, men are failing in the education system, falling off in the education system. Men are more likely to commit suicide. Men are more likely to die at war. Men are more likely to men are more likely to be homeless. It's men are more likely to go to jail. It's so many areas where it's like, Priscilla, there's a lot of lack of dominance in males too. So I'm curious to know, like, how would you shape the society? And how would it be better for both the sexes? Because when Priscilla talks, it seems like Priscilla only wants one gender to be on top, right? Because she talks about matriarchies. But in this conversation, I'm talking about something way off that y'all don't know about, because y'all got to watch her to understand what I'm talking about when it comes to what she talks about. But I just wonder, like, she basically, in a sense, took an indirect shot at Candace. It's women that think like you who give men power. And it's like, you didn't have to say that. That's really, really sneaky. But it's also women who think like you, who are dividing Western society to where men and women aren't even able to date now. So like, it's like what kind of conversations can we have here? I like this conversation. This is really interesting, though. And God damn it.
Something that you constantly bring up. You know, it wasn't until 1994 that it was legally illegal to beat your wife.
That's fucked up.
And so what we're dealing with is people wanting something, and then when they get it, they're not happy with it, and then they have to revoke that idea for something else. And so what you're saying is that women vote for these things because they have the same mentality as you.
Okay. So you're acknowledging that women have the freedom to vote.
Yes.
And you're saying that women are still existing mentally, even with the freedom to vote.
Correct.
They are voting men in because we are still victims of...
No, I don't believe in victimhood. I believe in lack of education and lack of knowledge, because one of the things that you also say...
Do you think that it could just be that more men are running for positions of office?
No, not necessarily. Because remember, the United States, the average reading comprehension of people in the United States is 6th grade. So we're not dealing with educated people. Lack of education is the cause for what we see in the world. And if we educate the women better, because a nation can rise no higher than its woman, and if she reading and comprehending at a 6th grade level and popping out a lot of kids, you know, because the brokest people in the world pop out the most kids. So if we have those people voting, of course they're going to vote against their interests, because they're voting for some utopian society that will never exist.
Okay, so that's...
I want to know something that's just statistically inaccurate about what she's saying. Right? Go look at how often poor people actually vote. The people who are voting are mostly the middle class and the wealthy. Poor people don't even vote. Like, let's keep going. That's annoying.
That's why you think Kamala lost.
This ain't even about Kamala.
Well, you're talking about women. No, but we had an opportunity.
Yeah, go ahead.
We had a male running and we had a female running. And we actually...
God damn it, now Candace is going to be sneaky. Kamala lost because she had 111 days to run. Joe Biden told her at the last minute that she could run. Like, not that she could run, but that he was dropping out of the race. And that's why she lost. Nobody was able to listen long enough to know her plan. She didn't have enough time to reach the public. But she did really good in a majority of states that she ran in. Yes, she lost the election. Yes, Trump won the popular vote. And he won the electoral college, but in each state he only won by a slight margin. It was not like he dominated it for real. Like when you actually go back and look at the numbers. Let's go.
Actually showed that Trump increased the amount of women who voted for him, right? So I'm asking you, do you believe that the reason that happened was because women became less educated during that time?
They've always been less educated. Did you know that UNESCO says that that 2/3 of the 7.7 million illiterate adults is women? Illiterate. And we have 6th grade educated people voting. And guess who? Guess the dominant population? It's white women. And so guess what? Now you have to add a race element into that, which you already know exists. Because we, as black folks, we ain't the dominant people voting people in. Okay?
It's about to end.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube.
I gotta like put my YouTube account that's connected that ain't got like the ads on it. But like, here's the thing, right? I got another question. When Kamala lost, right? We were talking about Kamala. Candace did that. Priscilla didn't. I'm not holding Priscilla to this. But I wonder what Priscilla would say to this. So yes, there are a lot of uneducated women. I don't think the majority of uneducated women vote, but okay, you know, I think a lot of educated women do vote. I think people know exactly what they're voting for. But here's my question, right? In 2016, when Hillary won the popular vote and Trump won the electoral college, which means he really didn't, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. If you lose the popular vote, I feel like you lost the election. Nobody really wanted to rock with you. The only reason why they rock with you, no, they don't rock with you at all. You won based on an old thing that's existed for centuries in our country, right? But that's neither here nor there. What would you have to say to the fact that Hillary won the popular vote? The majority of women went out and voted for Hillary. The majority of men, a good number of men went out and voted for Hillary. What would you say to that? I'm just curious. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that, y'all. I'm not gonna say too much because I don't know what the fuck this is, but oh man, that looks crazy. But anyways, y'all, I'm out. Peace.